Welcome back to Healing Time. And I know we're having kind of a stretching conversation, but I want to continue to have this because we as a church need to grapple with ideas. And sometimes we don't question the idea and it gets us into trouble. Okay, so thanks for hanging with us about this conversation on fellowship. Fellowship is where God is in the center. He is the one leading us individually and corporately. We see that he did fellowship with individuals and whole nation. So this is a very important idea. He gets all the glory and he has all the plans. He has all the resources. I just want to worship him, right? And he has the creativity to build what he wants in time in our generation to reach this world with the gospel of Jesus Christ. He is the one who knows how to get the gospel to all the earth. And for all of you that support Daystar, you're part of that plan, okay? Because you're sending the gospel to the entire world. This is the character to hold a brighter future and love that gets us in agreement with God the Father, with his heart. When you get in agreement with his heart, then you're in fellowship and he will lead you. He will do it. Now, you are specifically called to love. That's our highest calling in fellowship, to love God and to love his children. We call them family, and sometimes it's challenging. Family's always challenging. You know, you always have that cousin or that friend or that sibling who's a little, harder to love, right? But we're called to love in fellowship, looking at people the way the Father looks at them. Now, there is no better example of fellowship than Christ himself. Even though he was completely God, he humbled himself as a man, as it says in Philippians 2:8. And being found fashioned as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. In the Gospel of John, Jesus declares 3 separate times that he is following the Father, that he's doing what the Father tells him to do, that he's not leading the way, he's following, showing us how an individual can follow. And Jesus didn't build anything. I mean, when he was a carpenter, he probably built a lot of things, but I mean, he didn't build a big building. He was following. He was doing what he was told to do. And there's nothing wrong with building buildings. If the Lord is telling you to build a building, it's fantastic, okay? We need those to do the things of God. In John 5:19, Jesus gave them this answer. Verily, truly, I tell you, the Son can do nothing. Say the word nothing. The Son can do nothing by himself. He can do only what he sees the Father doing, because whatever the Father does, the Son also does. Again, in John 5:30, Jesus is saying this, by myself. Oh God, I want this to be my own prayer. By myself, I can do nothing. I judge only as I hear, and my judgment is just. For I seek not to please myself, but him who sent me. You can hear the fellowship model in Jesus' heart, in Jesus' language. Let's do one more. In John 8:28. So Jesus said, when you have lifted up the Son of Man, then you will know I am he, and that I do nothing on my own, but speak just what the Father has taught me. Can you imagine seeing miracles all day long, bread being broken, 5,000 people being fed, people with back straightening, eyes opening, ears popping, miracles, and the guy who's doing it is saying, I can do nothing by myself. I'm thinking the disciples had some real conversations inside their own heart going, who is this who can do all of this and says I can do nothing by myself? That I have to lean on the Father, that I have to have a fellowship relationship. If I didn't have a fellowship relationship today, none of this would happen. Now here we have Jesus himself stating repeatedly that he was living in this fellowship model in front of his followers, in front of his disciples. Jesus was following the Father in his day day-to-day life. He would heal a person only in a crowd of people who were sick at the pool of Bethesda. Why didn't he heal all of them? He wasn't told to heal all of them. He was told to heal one. Let's look at John 5 for a moment. Sometime later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish festivals, and now there is in Jerusalem, near the sheep gate pool, which is in Aramaic called Bethesda, and which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here are a great number of disabled people. See that? Great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. This was like a hospital, okay? One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" That must have been an interesting question. "Sir," the invalid replied, "I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I am trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat and walk." At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. This story has always been fascinating to me. It is like there's this huge emergency room full of people all needing healing and freedom, right? Jesus has already proven he can heal people. It looks like he can do it at will. From a natural perspective, this would have been a great opportunity to have a little revival, right? All these people popping up and getting better and praising God in the natural, so to speak. However, that is not what Jesus did. He did what the Father told him and healed only the one man. This is real fellowship, when you can do something, but you don't. It's just as obedient not to do something that you can do because you're not being told to. Jesus obeyed in healing the one man, but it could have been disobedient to heal the second or to heal them all. Now, this is a great example of fellowship. Jesus was in a fellowship relationship with the Father. This is a paradigm shift for some who just assume to forge ahead with something without being told to do something. Fellowship is staying in our lane and being about what the Lord is calling us to do day by day, okay? Jesus also led by example here, not just publicly, but privately. The disciples saw the public ministry of Jesus day in and day out. They saw him raise the dead, heal diseases, cast out devils, feed thousands, yet they never asked him how to do any of that. But they did ask him in Luke 11, "Teach us to pray." And it came to pass that he was praying in a certain place. When he ceased, one of his disciples said unto him, "Lord, teach us to pray." The disciples connected the dots that Jesus, being with the Father in his fellowship relationship with the Father, released all the miracles that they were seeing. Consider this in your fellowship relationship with Christ. I hope you're getting your appetite whet to just spend time with him, to enjoy him, to hear his voice, to know his heart. And he'll tell you throughout the day to go here or do that or give this or not, be still, move. And as you learn the fellowship voice, your life can be transformed into the supernatural on any given moment because he loves to love people and you're part of that.